I'm Emily, 24, and this story starts with my best friend Mia. We were inseparable. Since childhood, we did everything together. There wasn't a single moment where we didn't support each other. We shared our dreams, our fears, and everything in between. That was until Alex came into our lives. Mia and I met Alex at a university party. At first, he was just another guy in the crowd, a part of the social scene. But it didn't take long for him to catch our attention, and in a way, we both started falling for him. We both noticed him at the same time, but neither of us had the courage to admit it out loud. It was subtle at first. Just the way he looked at us when we talked, the way his voice lingered on our names. But it was there, and it was undeniable, too, the growing tension. As time passed, the attraction we both felt for Alex became undeniable. But there was an unspoken tension. We never really talked about how we felt about him. We both kept it quiet, not wanting to step on each other's toes. It was unspoken. Yet somehow, we both knew the other was interested in him. One night, Mia confided in me, and I could see the vulnerability in her eyes. Emily, there's something about Alex that I can't shake. Every time I'm around him, my heart races. Do you feel the same? She asked, her voice quieter than usual. I froze. This was the moment I feared. I had been feeling the same way, but I didn't want to admit it to myself, let alone to her. I don't know, Mia. I've felt it too, I admitted. It was a weight I had been carrying, unsure of how to handle this situation. Our friendship was built on trust, but now, it felt like a rift was forming without either of us saying a word. A few weeks later, things started to take shape. I noticed Mia becoming more direct with Alex. She invited him out, they started texting more, and before I knew it, they were spending a lot of time together. I couldn't blame her. Alex was charming, and she was genuinely happy around him. But it didn't stop the pain in my chest every time I saw them together. I wasn't jealous, at least not in the way I thought I would be. I felt replaced. As if my best friend was slipping away from me, and I had no idea how to stop it. One night, after hanging out at a local bar, Alex and I had a long conversation. Emily, I think you're amazing, you know that, he said, his words making my heart flutter. I know, but what about Mia? I asked, my voice cracking. He hesitated. Mia's great. But you? I don't know. There's something about you. Something I can't quite explain. That's when I realized I wasn't the only one caught in this mess. Alex seemed confused, unsure of how to navigate his feelings for both of us. And I didn't blame him. It wasn't his fault. But the longer this triangle continued, the more it tore me apart. The confession. Mia finally made her move. It was late one evening when she sat me down and said, Emily, I've talked to Alex. He's made it clear that he likes me. And I'm not going to pretend I don't feel the same way. But I need you to know, you're my best friend. No matter what happens between me and him, you're always going to be my priority. Her words stung. She was right. She had every right to go after him. But the betrayal I felt in my heart was too much to handle.
Mia,
I don't know what to say, I replied, trying to keep the tears from falling. At that moment, I realized I wasn't ready to lose Mia. But I also wasn't ready to give up on Alex. We were both in love with him, and neither of us wanted to back down. But the worst was yet to come. A few months after Alex and Mia started officially dating, I overheard a conversation that shattered everything. I was at a mutual friend's house when I heard Mia talking to someone else, her voice filled with excitement. I knew Emily would be hurt, but I didn't think it would break her this badly. Alex is the one. I never meant to hurt her, but I couldn't let her stand in the way of what I wanted. I froze. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. She knew exactly how much this would hurt me, and she still went for it. My best friend had turned her back on me. Not only had she stolen Alex, but she had also betrayed my trust in ways I could never repair. But the worst part was hearing the truth. Mia and Alex had been talking about their future together for months before I even had the courage to admit how I felt. All those moments of pretending things were normal, when in reality, they were already falling for each other. Mia had been planning this from the start, and I never even saw it coming. It was too much to bear. I started pulling away from both of them, trying to numb the pain. But the truth always stung, no matter how much time passed. Alex and Mia were happy together, and I was left behind, shattered by the betrayal. It wasn't long before everything started falling apart. The realization that Mia and Alex were in love with each other became a constant reminder that nothing would ever be the same. The laughter we once shared, the inside jokes, the late-night phone calls, we were no longer a trio. The bond that once held us all together had shattered, leaving me alone in a sea of confusion and anger. The hardest part was seeing them together. They would post pictures on social media, smiling and in love, while I sat in my room, scrolling through their photos, feeling like an outsider in my own life. I'd always thought that Mia would be the one person who would never hurt me, but here we were in this mess, and she was the one person who had hurt me the most. And Alex, he wasn't just any guy. He had become the symbol of everything I had lost. The one person I thought I could trust, the person I thought I could count on, was now a source of pain. There was one day, months after they started dating, when Alex reached out to me. I hadn't spoken to him in weeks. The breakup was still fresh, and the hurt was still raw. His text read, "Can we talk? I miss you." I didn't know how to respond. He had every right to choose Mia, but why did he feel the need to reach out to me now? Was this some kind of cruel joke? Or was he genuinely trying to make amends for something he knew was broken? I ignored the text. It hurt too much to respond. But part of me, the part that still cared about him, wanted to hear him out. Wanted to understand why he chose Mia over me. Why he couldn't see that we could have been happy together too. A few weeks later, I finally gave in. I agreed to meet with Alex. We met at a coffee shop near our old university campus, a place we used to go to after exams to talk about everything and nothing. Alex was waiting for me when I arrived. He looked different, more worn out, like the weight of our broken friendship had started to take its toll on him too. He stood up when he saw me and smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Hey, Emily," he said quietly. "Thanks for agreeing to meet." I nodded, unsure of what to say. I hadn't seen him in months. The last time I heard his voice, it was over the phone, and I was hanging up on him. Now here we were, both sitting awkwardly at a table, with nothing but the distance between us to separate our unspoken feelings. "I've been thinking a lot about everything," Alex continued, his hands wrapped around his coffee cup. "I know things ended badly. I know I hurt you. But I want you to know it wasn't easy for me either." I looked at him, not knowing how to process the words he was saying. "Then why did you do it?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "Why did you go behind my back with Mia? Why did you let me find out this way?" Alex's face softened. "It wasn't like that. I never meant for things to end up the way they did. But when Mia and I started talking, it felt right. And I couldn't ignore that." I blinked, a tear slipping down my cheek before I could stop it. "So, what about everything we had? What about the friendship we built over years?" I could barely hold back the hurt in my voice. "I know," he said, his voice cracking. "I lost that too. I didn't want to hurt you, Emily. But Mia and we just clicked. I tried to fight it, but it wasn't fair to either of you, pretending like I didn't feel the way I did." I took a deep breath, trying to hold back the emotions that had been bottled up inside me for so long. "And what about us? Was it all just a lie? Everything we shared?" "No," Alex said quickly, shaking his head. "It wasn't a lie. It's just things changed. And I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't want to lose you, but I didn't know how to choose without making someone else miserable." I could see the regret in his eyes, but it wasn't enough to undo the damage that had already been done. His words didn't heal the wound. They just made it feel worse. I wasn't sure what I was expecting from this conversation, but I had hoped for something that would make me feel better, not more broken. "I can't forgive you, Alex," I said, my voice firm despite the tears. "Not now. Maybe not ever." He nodded slowly, a pained expression crossing his face. "I understand. I'm sorry for everything, Emily. I never wanted to hurt you. I hope one day you'll be able to see that." With that, we both stood up, and for the first time in months, I felt like I was closing a chapter. A painful chapter, but a chapter nonetheless. The air felt heavy as I turned to leave, not looking back. Section 9. Moving on. After that conversation, I felt a sense of closure, but not peace. I still had a long road ahead. It wasn't easy seeing Mia and Alex together, but I knew it was time to move on. I distanced myself from both of them. I deleted the photos, stopped following them on social media, and focused on rebuilding my life without them. In time, I learned to enjoy my own company again. I threw myself into my passions: work, hobbies, travel. Slowly, I started surrounding myself with people who valued me, people who were there for the right reasons. Friends who didn't come with hidden motives. Months passed, and as the pain started to fade, I realized something important. I had grown stronger from this experience. I had learned the hard way that trust is fragile, but it is also something you can rebuild with time. I had learned that no matter how much you care about someone, you can't force things to work. And I learned that true love doesn't tear people apart. It brings them closer together. One day, I met someone new. It wasn't instant love, but something about them felt right. We shared similar values, and I didn't feel the need to rush. I wasn't looking for validation anymore. I was looking for a connection. A real connection, based on trust and respect. I had lost everything once, but I knew I was capable of rebuilding. And I knew that this time, I wouldn't settle for anything less than the love I deserved.